Welcome back to another Stranger Things video, and while this may not be what everyone was hoping to get, which is a Season 5 trailer, this is still a big step in the right direction. As many of you know, there is a prequel story that takes place in 1959 in Hawkins, Indiana, and follows a young Henry Creel as he first discovers and learns about his powers. This story tells of how the Upside Down first grabbed a hold onto Hawkins, leading the way for Eleven's story to take place. Today we're going to take a look at this brand new trailer that dropped and see if there's any glimmer of hope that they might give us some Season 5 cookie soon. If you're new here, go down and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming Stranger Things Season 5 videos, because as soon as that trailer drops, we are going to have a field day. Trust me, you are not going to want to miss it. And you know what? This trailer isn't all bad. I'm actually really excited to see them talk about releasing the first Shadow on Netflix, because this needs to happen. The best case scenario would be that eventually they film this live stage play with professional cameras and release the entire 2.5 to 3 hour story on Netflix before Season 5 drops, so that each and every one of us can watch this amazing story and learn all the secrets behind the actual show before the final season comes out. This show has been running in London since November 2023 and is now debuting on Broadway, which is really exciting. And while it is a smashing success, there's just going to be so many fans who won't be able to fly to New York or London to watch this in person, especially before October. It revolves around Henry Creel / Vecna, the main bad guy of the most popular show Netflix has ever had. But not only that, it features a lot of young Hopper and Joyce in high school, as well as a young Bob Newby, and a lot of Dr. Brenner too, which I really loved. It shows a lot of his early testing in MK and explores a lot of the limits Henry Creel's powers has. In my opinion, this play gives some crucial backstory to some really big elements of the show. By the time Season 5 drops later in October this year, the first Shadow stage play will have been running for almost 2 full years. That's crazy! I mean, congrats to all the cast and the creators, everyone who made this possible, because it really is a fantastic play. I was lucky enough to see it on the 7th performance in London, sat right behind the director Stephen Daldry, and was blown away. It was incredible. I hesitate to make a full breakdown of the 2.5 to 3 hour story because there's so much packed into it, and it would spoil so much of the story that I would love for you to get to see in person, whether it's in the theater or on Netflix filmed professionally. The twists and turns and special effects are just really cool to see. They did a great job with it, and I just hope that one day before Season 5 gets here, they release it on Netflix for everyone to see. If they did this, I'm sure it would be closer to Season 5's release date, but from this trailer, it seems like instead of releasing it, they're choosing to release a behind-the-scenes documentary of the process of making the stage play. Which is cool and all, but if you haven't seen the actual show, I don't see why you would be interested or care about this at all. Just release the full play on Netflix. It's gonna stir up so much excitement for Season 5, and then the behind-the-scenes documentary would be such a cool look at how they pulled something like this off. The trailer starts off by showing B-roll of them setting up the show, possibly one of their first couple performances, as well as their red carpet event that took place after all the pre-screening shows happened. This was the publicized red carpet event that the Duffer brothers went to in the press, and it was a big fun night for everybody. And then the Duffers say that Stephen Daldry, the director, came to Netflix after Season 1 of the show, saying he wanted to do a stage play. I had no idea it was so early on in the show, and I can't believe how long it took. I mean, it completely revolves around Henry Creel, which was only part of the show since Season 4. And then they show off a gnarly animatronic puppet they use for Alice Creel when they show the scene of Henry murdering her in the play. It was cool to see a couple of the big scenes from Season 4, some of Henry Creel's canon events you could say, in real life in the stage play. They also show off a Demogorgon outfit that looks like an actor is actually inside of this, similar to how they did it in Season 1 and I think Season 2, where they put a real person inside the suit. It's pretty cool how complete and screen ready this newer suit is. And then we get the shot of a young Dr. Brenner embracing Henry Creel. I really love how similar this is to him being like a father figure to Elle in the show. He definitely is a lot harder on Henry, and it shows. As time goes on and he spends more time testing on children, he eventually lightens up and is more empathetic towards them. I mean, we're going to try to not reveal any big spoilers, but a lot of these shots are from the trailer they released a long time ago. This attic scene is really crazy. We can obviously see Henry levitating here, kind of like Elle when she uses her powers to the max in Season 2's finale. This is definitely one of the more climactic scenes in the play. Everything is going haywire, and it's just as intense and as crazy as some of the moments in the show are. I remember multiple times realizing my heart was racing after these scenes. Then we get a shot of Henry launching someone into the ceiling of MK. Pretty wild to see this happen in real life in front of you. I still can't believe they're releasing so many of the big twists and turns and special effects in a behind-the-scenes documentary. Besides being a giant commercial to go see the play, it doesn't really make sense. And then here we get to see the shot at the dinner table of Henry using his powers to kill off his mother, and then after that is him working as an orderly alongside Brenner and showing young Eleven his 01 tattoo. It's so cool that this stage play takes place in the flashbacks from the Creels moving to Hawkins and then fills in all of the gaps in between that and him eventually killing his mother, as well as goes past the flashbacks in the show all the way up to connecting him and Eleven meeting inside the MK Ultra program. I'm so happy they weren't afraid to do it all because it really paid off. They say that this is the origin of Stranger Things in the Upside Down, which it really is. It explains so many huge backstory elements, it would be criminal not to release it on Netflix before season 5. Here's a shot of a thick boy Demogorgon. We get to see a cool shot of the prop department working the individual fingers of the Demogorgon's hands, which look pretty cool. It looks like Stephen Daldry is here showing Matt Duffer around set. Here's a cool rift effect they pull off. It almost looks like lasers on fog or maybe a mirror effect. Then we get some behind the scenes of the Demogorgon head, which looks like it's being controlled from a computer to remotely open and close the petals around his face. Here's more shots of the Alice Creel death, kinda creepy. We get to see some really cool shots of the cast for young Joyce, Hop, and Bob. I really like their portrayal of them. They're such iconic characters in the show, and they hit the nail on the head with these guys. We get a couple shots of Katie Trefry, the writer for the first Shadow, and it looks like Sean Levy visited production, and same with the Duffer brothers here. Here we get some shots of Dr. Brenner's first tests on Henry Creel that literally have him tweaking. And one of my favorite parts, a little night adventure with young Hop, Joyce, and Bob in the woods. This has a lot of the same vibes as the early seasons of the show, where the characters are completely in the dark and have no idea what they're looking for, and I love it. And then this shot is pretty crazy. This is Henry Creel and Bob Newby's sister, Patty, in front of the Mind Flayer himself. Henry is struggling in almost a protagonist role, it looks like, against the Mind Flayer to protect Patty. No more details than that for now, but yeah, they definitely show Henry in a different light in this story, which I really enjoyed. And then here's the entire cast. At the end of the show, all the cast walks out on stage in their latest outfits and take a bow before the crowd. You can see Hopper here has a deputy badge on, like he's helping his dad with police work. Keep in mind, this is right before he leaves for Vietnam. Straight out of high school, he ships out with the army to get away from Hawkins, and that's where he gets exposed to the Agent Orange that is ultimately the reason his daughter Sarah developed cancer at such a young age and passed away. Joyce is wearing a classic diner uniform as she's working at Melvald's after graduating, and then we see that Henry Creel is in an orderly's uniform from MK Ultra where we see him in season 4 flashbacks, but the craziest thing is that you can actually see young pre-season 1 Eleven in test subject clothes, most likely holding her dad's hand. It is adorable, but I kind of feel like this is a spoiler, or is that just me? It's kind of funny that since minors aren't legally allowed to work past certain late hours into the night, one of the first 2 nights of the play they had to cut her scene entirely from the play because it went too late. But by the time I saw it, they ended up figuring it out and she was back in the play. They end the trailer by saying that they're releasing this behind-the-scenes documentary on April 15th on Netflix. We will definitely be watching that, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss those videos. And if for some reason they don't release the play on Netflix or somewhere accessible to all the fans that will watch it, I will do a full breakdown of the 2.5-hour play, including all the spoilers and vital information that you need to know going into season 5 for those that want to watch it. I'm hoping this documentary acts like more of a trailer for them to actually release the full play on Netflix in October, a week or 2 before season 5, because if you haven't seen the play itself, it doesn't make much sense to be excited to watch a behind-the-scenes documentary on it. It's like, why would I watch a behind-the-scenes documentary for a movie that I've never seen before? It just doesn't make sense. Unless they're hoping you just watch it because you love Stranger Things and it's structured in a way where it doesn't spoil anything big and it's just trying to get you excited to see the play for 50 minutes. I mean, the special effects are a huge part of the wow factor, and breaking the magic with a BTS doc will definitely spoil it to a certain extent. I'm excited to see all the hard work that went into making this play come to life, but I would wait until they release the full play on Netflix and tell you to watch that before watching this. And that kinda seems to be how people feel about it in the comments of the trailer on YouTube. Fans are confused why we'd watch one before watching the other. I think this is just part of them really pushing all the fans who have the ability to go watch the play in person, but I have to expect that the vast majority won't be able to do that and are just going to have to be patient and hope that they can watch it on Netflix. A lot of fans simply don't have the means to go. If you go by yourself to New York for 3 nights, you're paying $300 for a flight, at least $400 for hotels, $150 on food if you eat lightly, plus the tickets for the show itself and taxis to get to and from the airport and subways to the show. I mean, that's easily $1,000 $100 just to see the play, and if you have to travel with a friend or a parent, the price is doubled. It's not something that everyone can go do on a whim. Money is tight right now, so I really hope they release the full show before season 5. I mean, even though I flew to London and saw it in person, that was almost 2 years ago. I would love to watch it again before the final season. Plus, the trailer looks so good, I think they could easily film this and release the entire show like that and everybody would love it. I do have a theory that they were planning all along to release the full stage play on Netflix from the very beginning before they release season 5, but they just won't tell anyone to increase the urgency for all the fans to fly to London or New York to watch it in person to avoid not being able to see it before season 5. Think about it. If they started marketing the play by saying that you can watch it live on stage or wait and it will release on Netflix for free, not nearly as many fans would travel to see it in person. Instead, they said that this story holds the literal key to the ending of the entire show to make it seem as important as possible for everyone to need to go see it, and then make it seem like in person is the only way you can watch it. But then, since of course everyone can't travel, they will just as late as possible release it on Netflix. Just like Hamilton on Disney+, I'm sure Netflix would love to add this stage play to its roster of Stranger Things content. And I'm sure that the creators would love for all the Stranger Things fans who weren't able to see it in person to still be able to enjoy their work and the story they created on Netflix. It only makes sense that they'll put it on Netflix just much later in the year since the Broadway show in New York is only just now starting. But the good news is we are slowly inching closer to season 5, which means we could get a teaser trailer any day now. We're coming up on just 6 months away from release date, which is close to when they started releasing some of the bigger trailers for season 4. I'm telling you, the light is at the end of the tunnels. We are getting closer, just be patient. Tell me in the comments if you're excited for this or if you've seen the show, what you thought of it. And until the next video, peace.